Are we excited? Are we ready to listen to my old boss tomorrow? You know, DJT, 45 and 47. A little bit more enthusiasm. 45 and 47. That's better. Okay, we're going to have fun. It's always fun to have the boss here. CPAC is where we come to do what? To recharge our batteries as patriots who love this, the greatest nation on God's green earth. That's why we're here, okay? And as I was talking to my buddy in the backstage little green room, Chris Coles, great guy, you should watch his channel on YouTube. It's called Mr. Reagan. I am very envious he has that channel, Mr. Reagan. You know who he's talking about. He said, we are here to send a message. I want to know what you should talk about on the stage today, that there are good people left in this country. I said, yeah, they're right here. They're right here. So I want to salute you for never giving up, never giving in. Do you remember what Rush said? There's a cut I use on my show every week. It's one of the last things Rush said to us before he left us for a much better place. Rush said, somebody emailed the show and said, Mr. Limbaugh, is it time to despair? Is it time to give up? Is it over? What did Rush say? He said, never. Americans never give up. We never despair. It is un-American. Did the founding fathers say, oh, it's the British Empire, it's the biggest in the world? Can't beat those guys. Did we say, oh, look at what the Nazis did in 1939, just ran over the whole of Europe? Did we say, oh, look what they did to Hawaii in 41 or Manhattan in September the 11th? Did we say, oh, that's just too difficult? We can't deal with it. No, we defeated them. And we're going to defeat the real enemy today, which is what? Inside our borders. I want to share with you, I want to give you some ammunition, okay? Because we've got to win the next one, and we've got to win it big. We've got to win it so big that this radicalized party that thinks it's okay to have open borders, to change the Constitution, to get rid of the Supreme Court, to mutilate young girls and boys as sacrifices on the altar of their transgender insanity, we have to so crush them at the next election that they collapse. The Democrat Party has to collapse because the Democrat Party today is not the party of your father or a grandfather. JFK, Scoop Jackson would not be allowed into today's Democrat Party. So we have to cause an utter annihilation, and it's up to us. Seriously, it is up to us. But let me share with you just one data point. These are the kinds of things you need to use when you're talking to your friends who don't do politics or think, hey, Uncle Joe's so nice. That president, he's just such a nice old man. I did a little bit of math for my last Sunday show on Newsmax, the Gorka reality check. Because my thing is national security. I'm a wonk. I eat, drink, and dream national security. If you take every war we have fought in since the end of World War II, so from 45 to today, you can add up every soldier, airman, marine, sailor, and Coast Guard who has died. Whether it's Korea, Vietnam, First Gulf War, Second Gulf War, Afghanistan, you can add it all up. The number of total killed in action, total in 70 years, is 103,000. 103,000 Americans died wearing the cloth of the Republic to keep you safe. On Biden's CDC website, you can look it up right now. It's very hard to find because they don't want you to find it. On Biden's CDC website, you can find this stat. In the last 12 months in America, deaths by fentanyl poisoning totaled 110,000 Americans. More Americans have been murdered by Chinese fentanyl in the last year because of Biden's open border than have died in every war since we won the Second World War. That is why I tell you right now, the enemies are out there. I get it. I get it. Xi Jinping in China, the mullahs in Iran, Putin in the Kremlin, I get it. But the biggest threat we face are our fellow Americans who do not believe in America. We are living in a time that no civilization has ever survived. It is utterly perverse. As a guy who likes history, think of this. Can you imagine any regime, I don't care if it's an ancient empire, a city-state, a kingdom, any regime in history, any part of the world, that was run by people who hate the country they're running? It's perverse. Why would you run to be the president of a country you detest? Remember Obama said, we're moments away from fundamentally changing America. Do you want to fundamentally change something that you love? Try that with your wife, gentlemen. I love you, but I want to fundamentally change you. Little nip and a tuck here, little, yeah, get back to me, how that works out. You don't want to fundamentally change something you love? And here's the sad thing, we're all concerned. I grew up under Maggie Thatcher. Maggie Thatcher's my heroine, right? I was in the UK, living in the time of Maggie, looking at Ronnie here, and I just, wow, this is conservatism for me. Call me a paleocon, right? OG conservatism. But today, it's not even about politics. Take away the letter R after your name. Let's not talk about the GOP. Oh, and by the way, can I just get a little bit political for a second? Will you let me? Can we be clear that my boss in 2015 won despite the GOP, not thanks to the GOP? Can we just, on the record, please? So, it's not about politics. It's not about R or D. The dividing line in America today is one thing. It's just one thing. Do you love America or do you hate it? Do you love America as the greatest nation on God's earth or do you hate it? I know you do, but what are you going to do to make sure we keep it? Yes. But what does fight mean? Come to CPAC, write a check for the local congressman? No, no. I'm deadly serious now. I'm going to leave you on this. If you are not running for local office, I don't care if it's the local library board. If you're not running for local office, you are helping the Democrats. End of story. End of story. If my wife, who hates politics, detests politics because she's sane, can come to me 2 years ago and say, love, I'm running for the local community center board. I said, you mean you're asking my permission, right? Because you've read St. Paul's letter, right, about wives and husbands. No, she said, oh, I've registered. I've got the signatures. I'm running. What? You're running? You hate politics. She said, oh, yeah, I hate it. But when I saw them in the local library have a drag queen story hour for kids, I said, that's it. We're not having sexually explicit, perverse things for children. I'm running for the school board. If my wife, Katie Gorka, didn't do that, then what the hell are you doing to save America? All right, guys, get busy. God bless you. Let's make 24 the biggest victory in conservative history.